Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here. Welcome back. It's Saturday, the 18th. Gosh, I had to check then. The 18th of April. And you join me once again in my office music room. And it's good to be here. And it's day 12 of a Tune a Day, Keep the Coronavirus Away. And I'm doing this video slightly earlier in the day, and I think that probably helps because normally I have loads of stuff to do during the daytime normally if I'm working, and then I go out and do some bits outside to get some fresh air, and then I normally set myself a target for 4 o'clock to start these videos in my time. That's not the time I upload them, and then I get round to editing. So there's a little bit that I do beforehand to make sure that they're nice enough for you good viewers to see them. So hopefully feeling a little less pressurized today. I wouldn't say it was stressed, but sometimes when the camera has a little brain fart, then often that will happen. And yes, thanks to Stuart Ellis, the formatting, yes, that card needs reformatting, and that's the reason why it told me that it was full yesterday, even though I got a spare. So rather than trying to do anything technical, even if that was technical, I decided just to shove the spare card in there. And I've got the other one here, so I'm going to reformat that later today, and we'll be back to normal and keep the other ones as spare. So yes, it's a fairly cool day today. You'll see I'm in this jumper and a warmer denim type shirt today, and that's because the weather has really cooled off. I didn't go running today. I went running yesterday and had a really nice time. I still need to wear a pair of gloves. I always seem to suffer when I'm running with cold hands and a cold head, but I didn't have a hat on yesterday. I did my usual 5.5 miles along the river, which was great, and I saw several other people running as well. We were all keeping to our social distancing, and that was a good thing. So yeah, thank you very much for your nice comments about Anne Shelton. I'm a great fan of hers, and I think we'll play some more of her music as time goes on. We've got another 3 weeks of this shutdown, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to do that. Today's a special day really for me, and it's the 17th of well, yesterday the 17th. I think it was yesterday. Was it today? Yeah, the 17th. Yes, yesterday, the 17th of April, 1941 was quite a tragic day for us. We lost a great singer in this country, and that was Al Bowley. He got killed by a pipe bomb that exploded over London, and that raid over London was one of the heaviest of the Battle of Britain, and he lost his life. It's said that he was in his flat in Jarman Street, and the door blew off the flat and the front door, and then killed him instantly. He was sitting in bed reading a book at the time, and so he didn't go into the shelter when the siren went off, which was a bit sad. And he's laid to rest in a mass grave just outside London. So because of that, I think we'll play one of his music songs today from the collection I've got of 78s, and we'll use the Decca 73 to play that because everyone seems to like that machine very much. It's mellow sound, as some people are saying, so I'm hoping that will repeat it. Now we've got the main spring fixed, and I managed to get the box open for the original spring box for this machine. Well, the motor that I'd originally changed, that was because the motor that was fitted in this machine, the double spring, had broken, and it had broken, and so I managed to chisel open the box, and I will make a video about that. And also I'm in the middle of refurbishing the double spring that came with the Columbia. Though that motor looks very similar to a Garrard. I'm sure they copied it. It looks identical in lots of ways, but it may be under license to Columbia that they built those motors. But anyway, I move on. I thought we'd change the format slightly today, in that I'd talk about some of the things that I do and things that I like, and I thought you might find that interesting. So we could there's a whole host of things that I do as individually as a person, and one of the first things I thought we'd talk about is what my reading matter is. Normally when I see politicians and journalists and other people on the television, they're normally sitting in a library type office, and behind them they have lots of books which I peer in to try and read what is there what is their reading choices, and that tells you quite a lot about who they are as people and the type of stuff they like reading as part of their personality. I don't quite have that. Behind me you'll see a shelf, and that has lots of music cassettes on it, and there are some books further down on the bottom of the cabinet there that I use for professional reasons, reading matter and things that I've done in my life, as well. And then I have a sift out, because books, textbooks they are, normally they're about 5 years out of date when they're published, but I do hang on to some of those. On the top shelf I've probably got you can see there, for my professional clinical work, I've got the British National Formula, the BNF, which is all about drugs, and there are some other books up there as well, and also Forbes, most important when you want to find out details of when records were produced and what dance band they were with. That's very, very important. And I won that Forbes companion, which I'll take off the shelf at some point and talk to you about, in a raffle at the Memory Lane London event. And I've been talking to you about Memory Lane Society, which is a society that keeps the memory of Al Bowley alive, and it's only £15 a year to be a member, and you get the magazine. And I won the prize there. I didn't actually, funny story to this, I wasn't actually there when the raffle ticket was called out, but a friend of mine, Eric, who's a fantastic guy, he actually contacted me to say that I'd won it, and I took him out to lunch in Belgravia, where my office was or is, and we had a good time to thank him for that, and he thoroughly enjoyed lunch at a very nice restaurant around the corner, the Thomas Cuthbert, which Thomas was one of the main designers of Belgravia, just around the corner from where my office is, and so it seemed only fitting for that. So I'm going to talk to you about the books that I like to read, and I thought we'd start off with, I like wartime books, and particularly I like spy stories, in the guise of perhaps James Bond may be, but something a bit more realistic. So one of the books that I really thoroughly enjoyed reading was this one by Ben Macintyre, no relation to me, hasten to add, but would be nice. And this book's called Double Cross, and this is a fascinating read. If you've not read this and you like this type of book, then I mean this is for you. And this was everything from Agent Zigzag and Operation Mincemeat, which was made into a film. But there are some fascinating tales here, and some very nice plates in here as well, about the things that went on leading up to D-Day, and how the Germans got duped into thinking that things weren't quite where they were supposed to be. So that's my first recommendation for a read if you're into this type of book. It's, as you can see, it's a hardback. It's with a nice leaf. Lots of nice plates in there, picture plates I mean, and even some of the things that we did to dupe the Germans into thinking there was more tanks and other stuff around. So I recommend that one to you if you're interested in that, and it has got an ISBN number. The ISBN number is 978 14088 19906. If you're interested, let me know if you want me for more details, and I can give those to you on the comments below. The second one I think was a good one, and that's the Commandant of Auschwitz, which is Rudolf Hess, or Hess as I call him. This I know sounds a bit macabre reading his diary, but I've been to Auschwitz, and I've been to Poland, and I've been to Buchenwald, and I've been to both camps on a pilgrimage several years ago now, but it stays with you. And the Commandant there, this is a diary that he wrote when he was captured, before he was tried and hung for war crimes against humanity. And he basically started life as a bit of a crook and spent quite a bit of time in jail, and he was the main instrument of the Holocaust and also the gas chambers, and one of the key Nazis that was in that. So I found that an interesting read, having seen a programme about him on television, and yeah, so that's another one I would recommend if you're interested in that type of history at all. There are some pictures in here, and pictures of him and his family, pictures of quite sad pictures of Auschwitz itself, so yes, it's a read that I would recommend. It's not for the faint-hearted always, but it's history, isn't it? And that's the way I look at it. History that should never be repeated. Okay, so man's inhumanity to man. Yeah, that one. In the similar vein, the propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels is one I'm reading at the moment. You can see I'm about halfway through. When I purchased this book from Waterstones in Maidstone, the lady that served me said a strange thing. She said, "Oh, how could anyone want to read about him?" Well, it's from these sort of people that we learn, and this is quite an informative read. It's by where are we? By where is it? Who's he written by? Peter Longerich. Sorry, Peter Longerich. Oh, by the way, the one on Rudolf is forwarded by Primo Levi, who has written several books and is a Holocaust survivor, or was. I think he might be passed away now. Anyway, Goebbels, this is quite an interesting one. His rise to fame is in here, and of course what happened in the end, he and Magna and their 6 children, they poisoned their 6 children, and then they obviously shot themselves, or shot each other, and then their bodies were burnt in the bunker in Berlin. Interesting read there as well. So recommend that if you're interested. And if you want the details of it, I can give that to you on the comments box below. Sounds quite macabre, doesn't it, wanting to read about these people? But actually I do find it fascinating, because I do believe deep down that in fact we got away with it quite luckily in the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and that there wasn't long before Hitler would have marched in and be sitting in London. And so I take my hat off to all those veterans and our American friends, partners, and the Allies that stopped Hitler and his henchmen for the Nazi regime. So I'll do some more of my book reviews tomorrow in terms of what I like to read. I'm not intending to tell you much about them, because I think you should read them yourself, and I do find them a fascinating read. So today's music is going to be I'm going to play If I Had $1 Million by Al Bowley, and it's on the Decca label. It's this record here. It came out in 1934. This is a very nice copy, and I'm going to play this on the Decca 73. And I've looked the book up. I've looked the record up in They Called Him Al, and it came out, and it's by it was recorded in New York, and also Victor Young was the director there. The A side to this was If I Had $1 Million. The B side is Be Still My Heart. I can't. I'm sure that's where are we? Yeah, no, sorry, I got that wrong. Be Still My Heart was the one that was recorded in 1934. That's the one I can find on the listings there, and that was recorded in 1934, New York, but Victor Young was the director there. But I'm going to play you If I Had $1 Million, which I think might have come out at the same time. It's on the B side of the record, so that's normally how they operate. And it's in this rather nice cover as well. You know, I like the covers that these records come in. So this one actually is Elbert Wilby, 25 Station Road, Ossett, here, even with the telephone numbers. And the telephone numbers always make me chuckle, because we've got Ossett 247, 3 numbers. So they're obviously early days. And they're advertising a range of gramophones here, from Columbia and also other records at HMV. Yes, a quite nice cover there, but I thought I'd play that to you. So don't forget to stay safe, look after yourself, and we'll chat tomorrow for day 13. Until then, take care, all the best. Speak soon. So, a tune a day. This time it's If I Had $1,000,000, sung by none other than Al Bowley. And also Victor Young is directing the orchestra. This was recorded in New York in 1934, the 31st of October. Enjoy.
Castles with their thrones, ships upon the sea, gold and precious stones, all belong to me. Foolish though it seems, every word is true, though they're only mine in dreams. My dreams belong to you. If I had $1,000,000, I know just what I would do. I'd tie a string around the world and bring all of it to you. Those little things you pray for, whatever they may be, I'd have enough to pay for them all. COD. If I spent $1,000,000, I know I would never care, because as long as you were mine, I'd still be a millionaire. That's why I'm always dreaming of what I do. If I had $1,000,000 and you. That's why I'm always dreaming of what I do. If I had $1,000,000 and you.
There we go, Al Bowley on the Decca label, If I Had $1,000,000. See you tomorrow for day 13.